bit here and show, yeah, we improved a lot during the offseason. We're different than the South.
Let's see if they're going to be able to do exactly that. The Ohio State taking on Kansas State. Gentlemen, let's rock.
And starting off early, some pressure for the Buckeyes. Winning kickoff. But nice clear from K-State, pushes it up into the space, and Masseter is going to be in charge of buying time. It will not happen. Sunnyside, going to buy away a nice long clear. Young clips the first one to it. Gumby, top of the box for Masseter, and he's just out of position.
Yeah, great defense there from Young Clips. I thought he was beat on that booming clear. In the end, getting up and pushing it away for K-State. And already putting on some pressure on the Ohio State side. Another pinch goes out. The attack's still on here for K-State. Gumby up for this one, trying to drop that one down. No one there to follow it up.
Free ball here for the Buckeyes. Masseter with a little bit of room to work with. Asks for help. Nobody there, and he will come off screen. Sunnyside just a little bit late. Push up field for K-State. And bombed away immediately by the Buckeyes. Top of the box for Masseter, and just won't come down fast enough. Pressure continuing for Sunnyside. Gumby the first one to clear out to the opposite corner. And tough read for Masseter. Open net, one-on-one. Young Clips just can't get a handle on it. Misses the bump as well, and Kansas State, beautiful opportunity gone aside. Gumby can't get on top of it and cleared away by the Buckeyes.
That was actually a great pass coming out from Young Clips, and Gumby just too high over it, or under it, excuse me, as he hits it up. If he had got over it, pushing it down towards the net would have resulted in a better shot. But still, K-State doing a good job of putting on the pressure here on this Ohio State team.
They unfortunately just missed that challenge in the midfield. Trying to go back the other way. The Wildcats pass to the middle for Sleppy. Back wall read for Masseter, and just off the mark. Top of the box. Sunnyside's going to have to buy a few seconds. And a wise touch out to the side. Sharp cut from Masseter as well. Given space by the Wildcats. Over one. Not quite able to get through two. Sunnyside just misses the dunk. Sleppy lets it go. However, a slow pickup from K-State at the top of their own box allows the Buckeyes to keep things going. And just through the midfield line. Demoed for his efforts. Young Clips able to find a clear and maybe some space for K-State. But a wide open net on the respawn. He's diving out of the corner. And they will escape, if narrowly.
Man, Young Clips has just been a savior for K-State. Sacrificing his life, coming off the respawn, immediately reading the play, making saves. And for Kansas State, barely staying alive right now as the Buckeyes are putting on a ton of pressure.
Another block out of the midfield from Sunnyside. Sleppy to the back post and off the bar and out. Knack not even going to have to make a save. Tipped into the middle. Masseter, he's had a couple of great opportunities to try and put the ball into the net. You'd like to see that accuracy go up just a couple of notches from them, but it's going to be the Wildcats back the other way now. Knack just missing the boost steal, goes back to get it. They missed the challenge in the midfield as well. Gumby in charge of buying a lot of time. And all he can do is give the ball away. Sleppy is going to push a couple of people out. Knack has to recover here. No boost for K-State. It's going to be a free ball for the Buckeyes. As Sleppy not able to get the best clear, it's actually Gumby trying to challenge for things. And actually the Buckeyes tie themselves up, and the Wildcats punish.
Absolutely punished here on the defensive side of things, and it's coming off the touch there from Sleppy and Sunnyside that kind of put it back towards their own net there. Off the backboard, lets Kansas State come through and put one away, and with 2 minutes left, you got to feel like with all the pressure that Ohio State had, they weren't able to put one away.
You look at the track record of both of these teams, and you're like, okay, Kansas State, show us what you got. You're really going to have to prove that you can run with this team in this series. You get the first goal in the game, they're showing that they can do exactly that.
And Ohio State, this is their B team, the team to come through the qualifiers. They were not invited from last season. But they will start off, and you see what got them there. A nice 1-2 pass to the top of the box. Well defended by the Wildcats. And another one, this one ticks off the woodwork and finds its way to the back of the net. We're locked at one.
Tough save to make there on the goal line for Kansas State. This one, you could have thought maybe it was going off the post. Young Clips couldn't read it properly. It goes off the post to the inside of the net and not out. And Ohio State able to equalize.
We've seen a lot of heroic saves out of Kansas State over the course of game number one. Sooner or later, one had to find the back of the net. Ohio State beat their role.
Yes! Gumby caught in a tough spot off the kickoff. His teammate missed a challenge, and Gumby just not able to get a handle on it.
Absolutely rolling. You said it, Haloran, as Masseter tumbling downfield to put that one away. Ohio State B looking to be in control for most of this game. Of course, a mistake coming on the defensive side of things, but still controlling Kansas State and not letting them do what they want.
And Sleppy off the kickoff. Knack to push that one to safety, but Masseter, as I just talked about it maybe a minute or so ago, like to see the accuracy go up. Well, within 10 seconds, he finds 2 goals for himself as K-State pressing hard. Gumby not able to get this one under the crossbar. Follow through from Knack. One more into the top of the box for Young Clips. He's the first one there, but it doesn't have the speed, and Sunnyside will tip it out to safety. Knack once more into the middle. K-State with some great passes from the top of the box, but just not able to get the accuracy going and find a great equalizer late into the match, and a nice breakout here for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, you said it. K-State doing a good job of putting on the pressure when the opportunity arises, but Ohio State still standing strong. Maybe one more chance here. That one's off the corner. Masseter downfield over to Sunnyside trying to get the touch. Not able to put that one on target. The follow-up from Sleppy.
Oh, he almost got it.
Knack, and it goes in anyways. Ohio State up by 2.
And it will most likely put the game away. 26 seconds, a bit of time to work with for sure, but they will need pressure off the kickoff. And Knack has made a couple of great saves, but that one just out of reach. Couldn't jump fast enough. So make it 26 on the clock. You need something here off the kickoff.
The Ohio State beams are jumping right now. Their offense is constant and aggressive.
You need
Kansas State's
something.
starting to buckle, and they get on the board. They get another one. Can they somehow tie this up?
And who else to do it but Young Clips? You can see Knack just forcing the issue, and not a good save came out from Sunnyside. Wanted to look for that one towards the wall, but instead kills it in front of his net. Young Clips on the follow-up, and K-State still in it.
You needed something. Well, you just got it. Take advantage if you're K-State, and Knack needs a couple of moments to get himself situated. Masseter, quality touch, just wastes all the time in the world and sticks it in that Wildcat corner. Knack with an opportunity to clear. He needs help. Great bump from Young Clips, but can they find the follow-up? Masseter not able to land the pinch. Last opportunity here for the Wildcats. Tip to Knack, and I think I just saw them run into each other. But either way, it will be the Buckeyes to come away with a victory in Game 1, despite having to work a little bit harder than they would have liked.
Absolutely agree. I feel like Ohio State made this game a lot more difficult than it could have been, or should have been, excuse me, as they were in control for probably the first half of the game. Then it felt like Kansas State really started to figure them out. But Ohio State, they had a couple chances they could have extended this lead. They weren't able to.
There's definitely a lot more on the table for both of those teams, I feel. But Kansas State, even though you go down game number 1 in the series, you got to feel pretty good about some of the things you're able to find in terms of potential opportunities to exploit. Their accuracy goes up a little bit. We're talking about overtime. So for a team that doesn't have the best track record, doesn't have the best history, to be able to go at an aggressive opponent and say, like, hey, we can run with you too, I like that for them.
Well, that's actually kind of the interesting thing, because the opposite the same statement is true for the opposite side. Masseter could have absolutely put that game away at the 3-minute mark. He had 3 or 4 opportunities early on in game number 1 that if he was able to fit those inside the goalpost, the game's out of reach in the first 2 minutes. So the accuracy for Ohio State definitely a little bit suspect as well, but they did get it together as Masseter was actually involved in all 3 goals.
For Kansas State now, it's about how do you respond back, a team that has been through a league play in previous fall semesters, coming out and getting controlled by this Ohio State squad who has looked very, very strong.
And K-State able to get away from a strong start from the Buckeyes as Masseter again just off the mark post kickoff. But Sleppy has beat everybody, but the only one there to make it back in time is Knack. And K-State searching for a clear. It's Masseter, soft touch, and just saved. Coming off the back wall is Knack. He's made a couple of tough saves for the Wildcats. And Gumby, a welcome clear. Not the greatest touch as well from Sunnyside. It'll be another free opportunity for the Wildcats. He's got Young Clips, a nice 1-2, and still the cross is so good from K-State. Just can't put him in between the posts.
And this game seems very, very even after saying that, Ohio State having so much control in game number 1. K-State is going down the field, marching down the field with some great passing plays of their own, and a little tangled up again from Ohio State, this time not punished from the Wildcats. But Kansas State really starting to figure out their offense.
Battle in the corner, currently favoring the Buckeyes, as it will float gently in front of the Wildcat net. Free ball for Knack on a dribble. They take out one defender. That means everybody's beat from K-State. It's going to be a bit of an awkward scenario. And again, Knack having to dive from the top of his own box. Young Clips a solid follow-up touch. Will get the ball back to the midfield line, and Masseter says goodbye, Gumby. It's going to be Sunnyside in charge off the back wall. Pass to the middle, and Sleppy too slow. Tipped aside by Young Clips again on the respawn.
Yeah, I have to give a lot of credit to Young Clips. Even in halfway through this second game, he is everywhere for Kansas State, really being that driving force on both sides of the field. Here he is again, a shot just wide of the net. Gumby trying to follow up as well. Ohio State not respecting Young Clips as he moves down the field.
And Wildcats trying to open up a hole. They just missed the demo on Sleppy, and that will allow him to break out in the midfield, really make the defense think a couple extra seconds. Punched off the back wall, and diving from the middle is Gumby to bail out his teammate. Masetter been a nuisance for these Wildcats to try and break out. And Sunnyside, a free clear for the Wildcats, shut down by Sleppy.
Another shot coming out from Masetter there. Kansas State a little tied up on defense there, and you kind of think about what the pressure from Ohio State brings is a beautiful passing play. Sleppy almost got a piece of it. It just would have added to how beautiful the play was. And Ohio State puts away the first goal.
Well, I've been saying great crosses from Kansas State, but here's one from the Buckeyes all day. And Sunnyside just put that right on the money for Masetter, and he's been hit or miss, but that one he nailed.
So Kansas State now down by a goal, even after some sparks of life from their offense. Really looking on Young Clips to step up here and make the big plays happen for the Wildcats.
Well, he might have just did it. He opened the door wide open and denied. Oh, no is right. Knack, it's a little overzealous. Pass one more into the middle. And don't lose your minds yet, everybody. They fixed it. We're locked at ones at the 2-minute mark.
Holy, that was close there for Kansas State. Gumby, though, able to put that one away in the end. And Kansas State bail themselves out after a big miss in front of an open net on the goal line. It's equalized with 2 minutes left.
It would have really deflated the sails of Kansas State if they weren't able to get on the board after having a goal right out there for him. Gumbarino steps up, evens up the score, but Kansas State, they got to capitalize on those opportunities.
And they did win the kickoff, and a beautiful demolition there from Masetter to just instantly relieve all of that pressure that K-State was building up after the kickoff and just break the Buckeyes out of their own half with a solid demo play. Pass to the middle, easy save for Knack, no pressure. But Sleppy to continue. Sunnyside gives up the ball, and Gumby with no boost couldn't really do anything. He didn't feel comfortable trying to force a challenge right in front of his own net. So they will once again enter into the 1-2 touch-up field for the Wildcats as they run into each other a little bit, marching up the field, but unfortunately they ran right into each other, and it will take a couple extra touches to hang on to the ball here as Knack, actually a great touch back into the middle. Gumby has Young Clips. They beat the last man. This has to be it, but it just takes too long to recover. Great passing from K-State, but the final touch just didn't have the time to get set up.
We've seen it a couple times in this series from the Wildcats. They're able to set up a great passing play, but it, again, comes down to that final shot, that final touch, and it just doesn't happen for the Wildcats.
Some space to work with. Knack winning a challenge on the midfield line, denied the boost, and he will be out of the play for a couple seconds as he goes to track something down. Masetter, who's probably been by far and away the most dangerous member, tipped by Gumby into the middle. Everybody diving up front. I think they crossed up the man in net. And just like that, the Wildcats with the lead at 29 left.
An absolute lovely touch coming out from Gumby, letting it just touch off the crossbar as well. Knack able to follow that one up. Can't miss that one, big fella, as he puts that one away. And K-State had the opportunity to steal away game two.
I love those finger roll plays, man. Just a feather light touch sets it up for Kansas State. This team came here ready to play. They're taking a fight to Ohio State right now.
Well, they're not done yet. Masetter just not able to get that one off the corner of his car into the net. And Gumby has another open net. It's going to be a tough shot. Had to get way around the side of that ball to put that on target. And it is damage control here for the Wildcats for the final 10 seconds. Pass to the middle. It will be Ohio State with perhaps the last opportunity. Welcome boomer upfield by Young Clips off that back wall. Masetter's got a lot in front of him if he wants to keep this one up, but it is through the line, but can't catch it. The Wildcats will take game two.
Things heat up for the Wildcats, and they're able to execute on two fantastic plays to find the back of the net. And Ohio State kind of left wondering what happened in this game after it felt like they were in control. They had opportunities to make things happen, but the defense really started to fall apart for the Buckeyes. It felt like they were tangled up. You saw a little bit of some panic clears coming out, balls being given away, balls being taken away from a defender who clearly is coming from a better area. So communication, panic setting in for Ohio State, ultimately leaving them with a game down.
I think on the other side of it, Gumbarino's also starting to step up too. He gets the first goal after that gimme was missed, and then he gets that nice touch over the top bar to be able to get the second goal.
Yeah.
He's definitely an angle and dynamic that wasn't necessarily there going into game number 1. But the Ohio State, I'm really impressed with their physical play. Like anytime they try to move down the field, it looks like you're looking at their offensive line because someone's getting demoed or pushed. Kansas State, though, they got the finesse to get around all that.
And as game number 3 begins, Ohio State, while they did lose game number 2, they definitely had plenty of pressure over on the Kansas State side of things. And you'd like to see a bit more of that be converted into shot opportunities as Sleppy is able to win another challenge. And it will be Masetter, the man with the plan, and he will blast it home. Again, the Buckeyes start off strong.
Really like what Sleppy does here. It goes off the corner, and then he lets it go by, and you see Gumbarino not really understanding what happened. It comes straight back out to Masetter, puts a beautiful shot on target, and the Buckeyes in the lead first.
Setter's been the powder keg waiting to explode in this series. He had no shortage of opportunities in game number 1. The accuracy goes up a little bit, so does the scoreboard.
K-State, chance off their own kickoff. Denied by Sunnyside. Re-applied pressure here by Gumby and Knack. Top of the box, Young Clip's a little bit beat. Needs a few moments for his teammates to get set behind him, and he will do just that. Follow-up touch from Masetter. Shot to the middle, free clear for Knack. However, it's off the mark from his teammate, and it's a touch into the middle for Sleppy. I don't know if Ohio State's going to be able to really make this one stick, as I think Sunnyside just wanted a little bit of help, but Masetter off grabbing boost, and currently the Buckeyes in damage control. They actually might have overstretched their limits a little bit. The Sunnyside goes right past him is Gumby, and diving back was Masetter. And Ohio State, that's a clear-cut example of you got to realize when the attack's done and not try and force something. Yeah. They did a good job recovering, but dangerous.
And K-State, they're able to punish you if you give them the chance. We've seen it already. Quick transitions, and that one might be a big one there as two big misses come out. Gumby maybe able to put this one away. The second touch not on target, and here comes Masetter back the other way.
Sleppy just a little bit too slow on the pickup. No boost here for the Wildcats, though, in the midfield line, and it will be Sunnyside back the other way. Gumby to delay, however, he just set up Sleppy on a tee, and he's able to just push it past him. Knack trying to keep the ball close. It will be Masetter towards the net. It is lofted high for Sunnyside, and Gumby diving out of the corner around the back wall, able to make a solid save. Young Clips and Gumby double commit, though, and a free push for Ohio State in order.
And again, that pressure coming out from the Buckeyes. It's a very classic Buckeye offense of everything running perfectly, a three-man rotation, constant shots on target is what we praise their A-team for, and you're seeing in the B-team as well. Very strong offense.
Beautiful pass from Knack to Young Clips. However, the latter not quite expecting that. And it will kind of stall the drive on the midfield for K-State as, again, Sunnyside able to win a nice challenge and push things back into the middle ground. Is Knack. Back wall. Masetter met by Gumby. Sunnyside flat-footed is one there. It will be Young Clips, and Masetter able to make it back out of his own corner. However, continuing the attack is Knack. Missed from Young Clips. Gumby needs a challenge. It's a free ball for Knack, actually, as everybody gets tied up. And again, Sunnyside has to make a quality touch. Masetter goes off the back wall. Gumby has been up there time and time again, not letting anything get over his head on that front. And Young Clips in trouble. No help needed as Sunnyside not able to connect.
And you really got to look out for Young Clips coming around the backside there for K-State. Just a little bit late on the attack, the shot on the Buckeyes net. But he's been a great force, again, on both sides of the field. Maybe one more opportunity here as everyone miss. And Knack not able to get to that ball either. Masetter doing a good job of controlling it, and Sleppy comes in to clean it up.
Yeah, Knack definitely playing the follow-up, but with everyone missing, he knew he was beat if he tried to go for it. Played it safe in the midfield, but he's in charge once more. He's through one, and Sleppy to follow up. He's timed it perfectly, but Gumby in the right place at the right time. They won't be able to get the demo on Masetter. And a nice touch from the Buckeyes to go back into the K-State corner and just waste some more precious seconds. However, the speed coming out for K-State off the midfield line. Beautiful touch right into the middle of the box. Sleppy can't clear, and Sunnyside diving over his head, kicks it into the corner. Safety for the Buckeyes, and a close call again met in front of Kansas State, just not able to punch the ball in.
Sunnyside, again, the man to save the day For Ohio State on that back line, keeping it clean. K-State actually might let this one roll in. Everyone watches it go through for Ohio State, and a 2-goal lead opens up.
And the idea here for Knack, it's well-founded, but poorly executed. He wants the soft touch back into the corner. You saw the cut to the left to push it off and lead himself to that boost, but he just mistimed it, and an unfortunate own goal.
For Kansas State now, that one might be
that one hurts.
That one hurts. We talk about being deflated after giving up a goal. That one's definitely a deflating goal for Kansas State. 40 seconds left, down by 2. It's definitely possible for them to come back, but it appears Buckeyes definitely in control of this game.
However, K-State not giving up just yet. Another great pass into the middle, and Gumby on the money. How about the touch from Young Clips, though?
What a fantastic play. Young Clips, my goodness, the pass out, reading that one perfectly, and he sets up his teammate for success. It's what you want to do when you're passing the ball, especially at the top of the box there. The corner shot comes out, and K-State stay alive.
They're showing that the self-goal, the gimme opportunities, not going to be enough to detract them from taking all they got towards the Ohio State. Can they get back in? Ooh.
Similar to game number 2, where K-State needed something off the kickoff. However, this time around at game number 3, just not able to generate the scoring opportunity as Sleppy, the first one there. Chance to put the game well out of reach. It is the final chance here for the Wildcats. They're going to have to go the length in the air. Solid touch from the midfield line. Young Clips in charge. Help from Gumby. They got Masseter beat. The Wildcats still holding strong, but unfortunately a poor challenge angle. They see that one on the back wall, say you messed up on that one. And Ohio State wisely let it roll down onto the ground. Make it 2-1 in the series. The Buckeyes threatening to win.
And again, it feels like the Buckeyes have control of these games, but they're not the most convincing wins. A couple miscommunications on defense once again. Obviously, they win this game, but for K-State, just not able to capitalizing on a few things there. And I feel like, again, as the series goes on, K-State seemed to be getting better and better, and especially Young Clips. It feels like he's a player that has just been showing and shining for the Wildcats throughout all of these games.
And we've seen teams that are late bloomers, if they do make it to game number 5, they just turn into absolute monsters. Kansas State showing that they do have that potential. The Ohio State achieves, what adjustments do you think that they made going in that game to be able to take the win?
Well, going into the game, it's actually kind of a funny thing because K-State, they only had one shot on target, but they were able to generate a lot more pressure. Still, I feel like Ohio State, it really is Masseter, and Sleppy and Sunnyside, they both really play around what Masseter does. So I don't know if they really necessarily made any adjustments. It's just like, let Masseter do whatever he's going to do. And if he's on, Ohio State's having success. If he's not, Sleppy and Sunnyside, definitely quality players, but it doesn't feel like they have that potential to really be a strong two-man offense, and it really does revolve around Masseter on Ohio State. I'm not sure if they're really making adjustments. It's just that's your guy.
Right. When you have two teams that are so evenly matched, it generally comes down to, what few mistakes or what few opportunities get missed. So on the other side of this, Corelli, do you want to see Kansas State focus more on improving their offense and getting more accuracy, more shots on goal, or do you want them to focus more on the defensive aspect of the game?
I think it's always both, especially for a team like
Why
K-State.
not both?
Well, why not both? And I think that they've shown weaknesses on both sides, just like any other team. But for K-State, you can't rely on Young Clips to make the goal line saves. And you can't rely on him to be the guy down the field every single time. It's got to be a team effort on both sides, and it feels like that he's having to bear most of the weight.
Well, that's actually the funny thing to me, because I feel Kansas State, again, I don't think that shot score line does them enough credit in game number 3, because they had a couple of great passing opportunities. It was just that last touch that wasn't quite in position to really be followed up on. The pressure is there. They can definitely beat defenders. They've been doing it all game. It's just getting that last touch on target. So it's just being aware that the pass is coming. Like that's the one that Young Clips threw out to Gumby. Gumby was absolutely ready for it. A couple of times, though, Knack's been in position. He just hasn't been able to really go and get it.
And Ohio State is making mistakes on defense. And to what Chief's point's saying is that you got to capitalize. You got to be there and execute the play when it arises, when that opportunity shows itself, being there to put the shot on target, to punish Ohio State when they make the mistakes, because they do scramble on defense. They do double commit on defense, and they're able to be broken down. You see the passing plays coming out from K-State in the last couple of games, and Ohio State does not have an answer for it right now.
Let's see if they're going to be able to do that, or if Kansas State will be able to force out the first game 5 of the day. The Ohio State taking on Kansas State. Let's get into it.
Well, this one again, The initial kickoff will be favoring the Buckeyes. However, Gumby, a great challenge just to get things back to all even. He will also deny that corner boost, and a double commit from Ohio State. Not going to cost them too much as they will all recover here, but does allow the Wildcats to break out a little bit. Gumby towards the back wall. Sleppy, great read. Knack to continue in the midfield line. Young Clip's going to need a little bit of help. Not the best touch. Masseter not the cleanest catch, however, and just able to edge that one around the man in the corner. Buckeyes struggling to find a clear currently, as well met coming off the midfield line from the Wildcats, as that's another one. And a challenge going to go K-State's way.
And this all this pressure comes off that initial kickoff and then the boost steal coming out.
Yeah, the boost steal really was the most important part of that.
And it shuts down the defense and straps them for boosts. And so far, Kansas State, while they haven't been able to put something on target here, really making life miserable for Ohio State as they finally are able to break out here.
There was a bit of a gap in that midfield defense from the Wildcats, and it has indeed broken the Buckeyes out. Gumby goes right down the gut. Sleppy takes a wide turn to make sure he can really get behind the ball. But however, that couple extra seconds allowed K-State to close the gap here on the midfield line.
We've seen this before where both teams are evenly matched, the ball's transitioning back and forth, and it just comes down to one or two different plays. Both of these teams have to be ready to capitalize on any opportunity that presents itself.
Missed touch from the Buckeyes in the middle. Gumby with a great block. Does he have help? It's coming too slow. Young Clips must have been out of boost. You saw him trying to flip up and go get that ball, but unfortunately the resource game just not at the right time for K-State was out of sorts.
And that's one of those chances where you look back for K-State and you go, they had the opportunity there from Ohio State, the missed touch coming out and not able to punish. Ohio State gets away with one, still a tie game.
Well, Sunnyside wins his own great challenge. This one in front of the box. Nobody home for Ohio State this time, and it allows Knack to get up there and clear the ball to the midfield. Masseter, nice back pass to where Sunnyside's already waiting for it. He's through one, but however, a great demo from the Wildcats will earn them a free possession here. Assuming Gumby wins the next challenge, Masseter quick to follow up, and Ohio State actually steal the ball right back. And a back and forth battle on this midfield line, and everybody trying to battle for possession. First ball for Sleppy. He had everybody beat and just missed it. And Kansas State dodged a bullet.
Yeah, Sleppy could have ripped that one to the back of the net there on the backside, but still not able to connect here. And really, at this point, we're past halfway. Both teams have had a good look on net here. It's about finishing your chances now.
Oh, missed clear from the Wildcats, and it will go unanswered. Sleppy not able to close the gap fast enough. Gumby trying to keep the ball close on a dribble. A transition for K-State. Can they make it stick? Actually, Knack with a beautiful touch, and Young Clips just not expecting to have to make the play, and that's again, it's a couple of great touches from K-State, but the man who needs to follow it up never seems to believe it's coming.
The opportunities are there for both of these teams. It's just, it feels like the first goal that happens for this game is going to be the only one of the game at this rate.
Very possible, as we are nearing the 90-second mark here in the next 10 seconds. Sleppy back the other way for the Buckeyes. Free ball for Gumby. Sticks it to his nose and just challenging for possession. They will also deny that corner boost. We saw it at the start of the game. One boost deny really allows a team to get good pressure going, and they might have done just that. Neck needs to find some space. He's got Young Clips on the side wall. Right to the top of the box and met by Young Clips. Just going to kick that out to the neutral game and battle for possession once more.
And you can see what K-State's doing here in this game. Very different from the last games. They're not throwing the ball down the middle of the field. They're throwing the ball down to the corners and to a player on their team, finding each other, even if it's the point man upfield, and keeping possession more and more. It's what's not let Ohio State get on these rallies on offense that we've seen. One or two shots come out, but immediately shut down by K-State. Balls being cleared away from the center of field only benefit you.
And the setter right down Main Street from the side wall. Easy save for Young Clips. Gumby, light touch. Young Clips wants the demo because he knows Slep has the follow-up. Not on target. And again, the Wildcats, thankfully, they went for a risky play and were mercifully not punished on the failed execution. Knack actually pulls everybody off that corner boost, puts Masseter in a tough spot, and the Buckeyes will just survive their own scare right in front of their own net.
And now with 20 seconds left, that's a big opportunity there as two go for Ohio State. Knack couldn't find the ball, though. Cleaned up by Sunnyside. Another one off the back wall. Still the Wildcats knocking on the door here with 10 seconds left. Two go for this one. It's got to go in. Here comes Ohio State back the other way. Young Clips racing back. It's Sleppy who can't get a hold of the ball. 3 seconds left now. Sunnyside trying his chance on net. It's overtime here in game number 4.
It got a little scary there because Young Clips was waiting on that back wall of Ohio State, expecting that pass from Gumby. They went for their own play. The kickoff might go the other way. Sleppy has everybody and make that the end of the series. K-State, some great passes. Unfortunately, doesn't matter. For once, Ohio State gets a great kickoff pressure and just breaks them down.
We haven't even seen pressure from Ohio State on the kickoff for a few games now. It seems like K-State really started to figure them out. But
or it was just dead neutral.
When they needed it the most here in overtime, OSU come through. And off the kickoff, sunny side to Sleppy, they finish this series up.
You guys talk so much about the importance of having a quality kickoff. That's exactly a strong instance on why that's so important. It almost felt like Kansas State went in overtime. They're like, all right, like we spiked the ball, we got in overtime, and as they start the set, the ball's already getting sent over them, and it's just too little, too late. Let's take a look at the bracket, though, as the B team for the Ohio State is able to move forward. They now await the victors of Akron taking on UW-Whitewater. Akron, this is a team that we're definitely looking to see a strong performance, so the Ohio State B, they're not done yet.
Again, only gets harder for these teams, and for Ohio State, I think this is a quality win over Kansas State. A 3-1 victory is nothing to scoff at here, and now they await the victor of Akron. A lot of people might pick Akron in that game, and if you have to go against Akron in your second round, it's going to be a tough one. But for Ohio State, it's a solid win here, and it's something to think about as they await their next opponent.
Solid. Okay.
Well, it's just that whole series really did revolve all the way around Masseter. The only goal he wasn't involved in was that kickoff goal right at the end. And the only reason he wasn't on the scoreboard for that was because he was the guy who went for the kickoff. After that, it was all Sleppy and Sunnyside on the follow-up. So Masseter, definitely the key man for Ohio State. He's the guy who's going to have to make the difference in whatever the next match is.
Every team that plays against them, I'm going to have to watch out. Let's look at Twitch chat, though, and see what you guys thought about that. 31% going over to the Ohio State. Kansas State University, strong team. Definitely put up a solid performance, but the Ohio State B, man.
Definitely favoring the experience for Twitch chat. You can understand why, but unfortunately, Kansas State still a few kinks to iron out. Great potential on offense, wonderful passing. Probably the best passing we've seen so far in this tournament from the North Conference. It's just making sure that everyone's on the same page about it, and you'll really see that offense start to shine.
Let us know what you guys think about the North region so far. Use hashtag CRL19 to send us your comments or questions. We'll be glad to answer them. We're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. More action for CRL 2019. Nice catch, by the way. We'll be right back.